Good day, viewers. Walter here. I'm down here by the workbench. I'm looking at, hopefully you can see the picture. It's a Polaroid picture I took back when I was building this house. This was before the garage was built, or I don't think I think I had just got the house dried in. There was snow on the ground that day. I hadn't built the garage or paved the driveway, but the house was dried in. He got it dried in just before winter set in. I worked on this house for almost 3 years, building it myself. And when I say building it, I mean me doing the physical work. A lot of people call themselves a builder because they go out and hire a contractor. I used very few contractors when I built this house. If this picture don't show, I'll try to find some more. What I didn't do was save a whole lot of pictures that I should have documented what I was doing. But I'm down here by the workbench. I brought in that wind spinner, the first one I made, with this big sail on it. I'm going to make some changes and try to improve it. This hole needs to be farther back for one. But I figured since I was thinking about the house, I'd talk about it a little bit. Tell you to mine. Actually, it's not more of a story, it's mostly just talking. But what brings it to mind is I was listening to Todd Empson. He's doing some carving and talking at the same time about when he had to do some improvements on his house and his home. And it brought back a few memories to me. Let's see, I need a drill bit. There's a little one in there. Let's use that. That ain't going to be balanced, but we're going to make some changes on here anyway. That was definitely too far. That would definitely be an improvement anyway. Probably won't be balanced. I don't have the best drill bits in the world. But I'll make do with what I got. Anyway, I come home from work one day. We lived on this property in a mobile home. My purpose in moving down here was my job transferred me down here, or I transferred down here to take a different job with the railroad, which was called an outlying point job. I was no longer based out of Atlanta, but I was based out of Griffin, Georgia. I wonder if this is the right size bolt. But I came home one day, told my wife, we're going to build a house. You can't build no house. What are you talking about, build a house? We had shopped around to buy a house, and the house that we wanted just wasn't in our price range at the time. So my idea was, let's build a house we want. She didn't believe me. There was a company called Miles Homes at the time. I don't even know if they're in business anymore. But you could send off to them, and they'd give you the plans to our house, send you the plans for our house, and in exchange you bought your material from them. Well, within about a month, this truck showed up out there in the front yard, and I mean an 18-wheeler, big old truck, and all the lumber stacked on it to build a house with. I thought, oh Lord, what have I done got myself into? Well, the way they unload that house, all that lumber, I mean, it was a fully loaded flatbed truck. He just undid the straps, backed up and hit the brakes, and it had rollers on it. All that lumber rolled off the back of the truck and landed out there in the yard in a big pile. And most of it stayed intact. Some of the 2x6s and 2x10s broke, which I guess was to be expected, so I had to replace them. I spent a good week sorting all that lumber, stacking it in different piles out there in the yard on bricks and blocks to get it up off the ground, covering it with plastic. I mean, I had plywood, 2x4s, windows. I had it all for the external part. Trim, molding, it was all piled on there. You had to sort all that in inventory, make sure you had everything. Well, the idea on building the house was, you build the house, then you go get a loan at the bank for the house. And I said, this is getting more complicated every day. But that's what we're going to do. And that's exactly what we did. I built this house, and it's like a construction loan. The while you're building, you're making payments to Miles Homes for, started out it wasn't too bad, the interest wasn't too bad, but to encourage you to build it a little quicker, they warn you the price of your interest rates are going to go up. Let's see, do I need a washer on there? Why did I have a washer on there? Let's leave that off until later. Well, after 2 years, when the price went up, I had the house all completely framed, and that's another story in itself. Putting so much siding up each day until I finally got it dried in, and it was looking about like you see in that Polaroid picture right there. But I was running out of time. You know, I had done all my plumbing, all my electrical work, running the wires and everything I did myself. I realized I got to get myself in gear and get this house finished, because it's going to cost me up the yin-yang. So I really started buckling down. I was working at the railroad every day, so when I come home, I'd be out here working till way after dark. I thought about using a half of a cutting board on here. I wonder how it would look with a whole cutting board. Use a half, since I've already cut it in half. Thought I had my magic marker down here. Anyway, when I finally got the house dried in. I didn't have the driveway built. I didn't have the garage built. But on the second shipment of material that came from Miles, was after I had it dried in, they sent me all the sheet rock out here. Some more windows, trim, molding, things you need to finish the house off. I finally got finished with the house to the point that I called an appraiser out here, and I had the total bill with Miles Homes at that time was $42,000 or something like that. Went to the bank, told them I want a loan on this house, and they said, "Well, I said, I just built a house and I need a loan on it." Well, they looked at me like this guy is some kind of damn fool. Well, they sent an appraiser out here, and the appraiser appraised the house at $86,000. Well, that made me feel better, because I was beginning to think I had made a bad decision. Same house now would cost a whole. would cost a whole lot more than $86,000. So they said, yeah, we'll be happy to loan you the money. And I took a loan out for 42, whatever it was, with the bank. And paid off Miles Holmes, didn't owe them nothing anymore. I hate them scam phone calls. Sure ain't gonna answer it. I need my magic marker. See, is there a pencil down here somewhere? A smart guy would clean off his workbench. I can't think with that damn recording going. Goodbye. Anyway, I finished the house. In the meantime, we came into a little bit of money, and then inherited some from a death in the family. I wisely decided we're going to pay off our home loan, and that's exactly what we did. We took $45,000, whatever we owed, went down there to the bank and paid off the house free and clear. I think the wife bought a new car at that time. Invested some of it, but my main objective was to get the house paid for. And at that time we put in a swimming pool outside. Paved the driveway. My son James and I built that 3-car garage you see out there from the ground up. Same type of arrangement. I went to a building materials place. They had the plans, sold me the plans, and all the lumber I needed to build it. Can't remember the name of the building supply place. But within a couple of months I had that garage built. I'm going to put my frog on here maybe. See how he would look on there. That's a little bit high. I could bend him down. That's good right there. I'll just let the flower overlap. Time I paint that wire, you won't even see it. I still won't have any movements on this whirligig other than just twirling around, but I'm making it look a little better than what I had before. We'll pick a new propeller for this one. Let's see. I like this one right here. Got 2 or 3 of them made around here. Oh, this one's pretty nice too. I think I like this one best. Anyway, I'll end my story today and get back to my tinkering here. The moral of the story is, if you decide to build your own house, you better be some kind of dedicated person, because I put more work into this house than you would ever imagine. We'll come back and show you the thing when I get done. Well, I got careless and drilled this hole off center on that one. I might as well ruin that one. So I've drilled a hole in this one more on center. The other one would work, but it'd be all wobbly. They're all going to be a little wobbly because you can't find the exact center. I can do better than that. Here's the one I had on there. It had a bunch of glue and stuff on it, and I didn't like the way it looked. I did a sloppy job building that. This one's neater, so we're going to go with that. I'm going to trim some of this melted plastic off the edge. Put me a bolt in there. Oh, with a smaller bolt than the one I had in the other one. So the hole right here on the whirligig is a little too big around. I'm going to put a regular hex nut on first. Don't want it on all the way because you want some free, you want the propeller to be loose. That'll leave me plenty of slack. I need a washer. Here's one right here. Okay, the nut that I'm putting on the outside is a plastic lock nut. Proper way to tighten this would be with a wrench, but I'm too lazy to go find one. Now I'm going to take my needle nose pliers. Grab that inside nut and hold it. And tighten this one. Just to lock it. Okay, all I need to do now is throw me a coat of paint on this sail. Hopefully that sail is going to be big enough. We eliminated the big blue one. I attached this frog just a little different. Wonder what would be a good color for that sail. Whatever kind of color I got, right? I made the sail red, and by golly, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Works pretty good, though. Got the little froggy on there. It twirls pretty good. Well, I'm having fun tinkering with my little whirligigs. Looking back at the house, there's a lot needs done to it. I finished that house, I think it was around 86 when I finally finished it. It's hard to seem like we've been living in this house 32, 33 years, something like that. Need new windows. Need some siding put on it. We got a new roof on it. Definitely needs some work done, but I won't be able to physically do the work like I did when I built the house. Not the greatest little house in the world, but it's ours, free and clear. Anywho, that's my story about our place. Lots of work need done that I ain't able to do anymore. Pretty nice out here today, except for the fact that it's really windy. Thanks for listening to my video, my friend.